Hey guys, Biddy here, back with episode 5 of Feed the Beast Modded Monster, version 1.0.10. As you can see, got some fancy graphics going on. Yep, got my new computer in. Now, first off, I'm gonna pause it right here. Now, along with this new computer came a whole bunch of setup, and the one thing I forgot to do was set up my microphone to work with my recording software. I had been doing it for so long, I forgot that I had to set it up again, and well, there you have it. So unfortunately, this is going to be a narration over the top of edited video. It's going to be a little disjointed, so I apologize for that. But that said, let's get moving. Now, unfortunately, I can't use this shader pack. As you can see right here, it messes with some of the textures of these machines, and that just, in my opinion, is just not acceptable. I would very much like to use this because this is just gorgeous. You know, the shadows, moving with the sun and everything, and just the bright daylight and the way the light changes as you go in and out. But sorry, just can't do it. So in a sec here, we'll be switching over to the standard shader and going back to kind of the vanilla look here. Okay. Here we go. Now, as you can see, I've done a bit more landscaping, and I have committed several environmental atrocities. One is shaving the face off of this mountain here, because I've decided that's kind of going to be my layer, or basically my entire base is going to be built off of the face of that mountain, so I can dig back into it as necessary. Another thing is I just kind of scanned across there. That right there is a mountain that I completely ripped off the top to provide the materials to flatten this area out, because what I'm going to do is do some farms. So getting started over here, what I've done is I've kind of laid out where I want to put my first building here, and I'm going to use what's called the filler to get this dug out. I should have done this much earlier, but I really wanted to get it on camera, and I didn't want to go through all this, all this destruction on camera, because it absolutely took forever to do. Now, to get that filler, it requires power, and what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be creating redstone energy conduits. That's the highest tier of conduit. Those can handle 1000 RF per tick, and they just require some hardened glass and electrum. I have all the materials for this, so I will be building a good number of these to get started. Okay, and to get the hardened glass, all it takes is 8 pulverized obsidian and 1 lead for every 2 hardened glass. And the lead can either be pulverized or powdered or an ingot. So I'm going to gather up the materials for that. And yeah, it looks like I've got a stack of the obsidian dust, and now I've got the lead there. Oh, and I also did a whole bunch of mining. As you can see, I'm showing off the diamonds and emeralds there that I've picked up so far. I upgraded the hammer, and I'm able to do quite a bit more in a lot less time. I'll be showing that in a bit as well. But there's a way to actually upgrade that hammer to take power, actually, so you charge it instead of using metal to repair it. So here I'm just tossing everything into the induction smelter, getting all the materials needed. Okay, there's the hardened glass. And getting the electrum setup here. Electrum, all that is pulverized gold and silver. You mix those together and that gives you your electrum. Put those through a furnace and you've got your ingots. Now I'm making a whole bunch of these because I know I'm going to be using them. I'm going to be running power everywhere in this base, and I'm going to try and use redstone flux as much as possible, but I think at some point I'm going to be converting over to solar and converting that power back and forth into the various types of power. So here I'm just tossing the redstone in. It is 2 redstone per conduit that you need. So I need a total of 130 redstone to get this done. And that's what I'm doing right here. Okay, now I'm gathering all the materials here for the filler. And get that going. Let's see, start off with yep, a bunch of redstone torches, and then I'm going to convert those over to landmarks right off the bat, because I'll need one for the actual filler and then the rest for actually laying out the area that's going to be affected here. Dandelion yellow you get from flowers. And the gold gear, you start off with wooden gears, and then, yeah, having problems aiming there. Then you upgrade that to stone, and then to iron, and then to gold. Okay, and that's all we need. Shift that in, we're good to go. Next, I need to go grab the energy cell after I clear off some of this inventory here. And remember, you do need to use the crescent hammer to well, that's right, I was going in here. If you use the crescent hammer on these machines, it rotates them, so you have to be kind of careful on what you use it on. But if you use the crescent hammer on these energy cells, you do retain the power that's in them, so that's you can't just use a pickaxe on those. Now here I'm laying out the zone for the actual work to be done. You can actually you can put the landmarks in 3 of the 4 corners. It's just out of force of habit that I'm actually doing all 4 corners here, and then just the one to define the height of the area. Which you'll see in a sec. Yeah, it's the 4 corners, and then you put the top one there, and then to actually, you need to kind of trigger these, and the best one to use is where it's the one right below it, where they all connect there. I know I said that wrong, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, you get the point. So here I've got this outline. Next, we lay down the filler, and what that's going to do is it's going to create the actual work lines, and that breaks those. And you may notice that I'm actually going to lose one of these landmarks here because I forgot the lower one there right next to the filler. Now you do need to go around and pick these up, because what I'm doing here is I'm going to be using the clear mode, which will actually empty out this area, and it destroys all the blocks. It does not store them anywhere. Apparently there was, you know, there's block lag and stuff that can happen when you've got so many entities getting created by doing that. So they just they destroy the blocks instead of, you know, having to put an inventory next to it and collecting everything. Just makes the most sense. So they did change the interface of the filler quite a bit. You used to have to use bricks and glass to define what you wanted to do. So they've made more options now. In this case, though, I want to set it to clear and just leave the filling resources area empty. And then all I need to do is provide it with power at this point. So we lay down the energy cell, make sure that this is configured properly. Okay. And then all we need to do is lay down the conduit. And what this conduit does is you can't put the energy cell right next to it because it'll try feeding RF into the filler. The filler does not take RF. It's the conduit, a hardened energy conduit or a redstone energy conduit will automatically convert that power for you. That's why you have to have that there. Now, another thing to note is as soon as this is done, you need to break that power, that link to the power, because what the filler will do is it'll just sit there and just keep drawing power regardless of whether it's actually doing anything. Now, this operation took pretty much all of the power, so I do have to go and recharge that. But in the meantime here, we can just leave it in place, and I'm just changing the mode to box because now what we're going to do is actually create the room. So I'm going to head back and recharge this this energy cell and be back when it's ready to go. I think here I was kind of describing how high. I'm doing 5 high for all my rooms on this build, just to allow for routing and piping and other stuff. Something new I'm trying. I usually do 4 high. Okay, I've gathered up the resources I need here. I'm just going to toss in all these stone bricks. And lay down the energy cell and put down the conduit, and we'll be off and running. Now you do want to set everything up before you provide it power, because this thing, once you set it, it just takes off and runs. It's amazing how quickly this thing will work. It's actually kind of scary when you really think of the damage you can do with these things with the wrong setting. Okay, and there it goes. Now, if I were to be using a hardened energy cell or a redstone energy cell, this thing would have been done in a matter of seconds, but that did take a little while. Kill that, because if you were to try to break that block that I just did while it was still powered with stuff in the inventory, it would keep trying to fill that. So you do have to kill the power before you start bashing into anything you build with this. I'm just putting out torches here to prevent mobs from spawning, because this is a perfect mob spawner. So you do have to be a little careful when you and be prepared when you get this stuff when you create these rooms here. Okay, and I'm going to do the second floor, well, I should say the ground floor off camera here. Okay, now we're done. What I've done is started moving stuff over. I've grabbed most of my machines, actually I think all of them. I put in these skylights just to get some light in here. There's actually going to be a second and probably third floor on here. It's just temporary stuff. Now, another thing I did is I should have got it on camera, but I created that energetic infuser to recharge my my hammer. I think next episode I'll try and cover that a little bit if I remember. But all I've done here is I've put, you know, my stuff here in a line, and I've got all my power hidden at this point back behind the walls and under the floor. As I progress in the build here, I'm going to be adding a lot of automation, and so I'm going to be adding a bunch more machines along there, so that whole lineup is going to expand quite a bit. I added some more steam dynamos. That's the igneous extruder I moved over. I'm going to be adding some more energy cells here. Now, I am going to upgrade those energy cells right now. What I'm creating here is I'm grinding down some iron and some, what else do I need here? Oh, and ferrous metal. You just take that, 3 of each. Well, I did 3 of each. It's just two iron and 1 pulverized ferrous metal. Creates the invar. So now I have the ingots, and it's what's great about these is they are upgradable. So you just take that, and I really should have upgraded this sooner, but didn't think of it at the time. So that's all you do. You add the invar around there, and you've now cranked it up to, what is it, 2 million RF is the storage for this, instead of 400,000. And the input output for power is actually 400. You see I'm hovering over there. It says 80, 80. What it does is it remembers the settings of the leadstone energy cell, and it retains that. So you actually need to go into the interface and make changes if you want to change the input output. So you know you want to bring that up to the 400 RF per tick. You actually have to go in here and hit those plus signs on either side. I'm actually going to do that off camera after the recording's done here. I just didn't think to do it at the time. So at this point, it was just a matter of adding a bunch more coal to the dynamos to get those charged up, and they're ready for action. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this episode. I know it's going to be it's shorter than most are going to be. Sorry for that, but just this whole new computer thing kind of screwed me up a little bit. Next episode, I'm going to try and figure out what to do with that portal to the nether up there. Probably build an easier pathway up there. Probably start working on the applied energistics storage system, and keep working from there. So till next time, take care.